welcome back. You're watching the Social Hour on K24 Al Fajri. This morning we keep it very real. We're discussing the attraction of a taken man. Why is it that you tend to see very young girls, especially, not all, but most university students, some of them you would find them hanging out with married men, despite the fact that they know they're taken and are not available. So what makes this married person very attractive, even when you know that they can never be with you? So, of course, to discuss this in studio, I'm joined by Shiwa Roenge, who's a relationship commentator. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having
and
me.
of course, Robert, an image consultant. And thank you for letting me not wear blue so that I'm not part of the team, because Remy is also in something that is blue, but we'll be coming back to you guys.
All right, okay.
Remy?
Right, and I can see a couple of responses here to that effect. It's a very interesting topic, and let me take some of them. Stephen Munyao says, married men have a lot of experience than boys. Okay. And we have Robin. You say, married men are sweet and are experts of love. Sawa sawa. Mutuku Freddy say, for married men, women can differentiate who are positive and negative. No, can differentiate who have positive and negative experience. Wanachambua. Etimo, yes, Mourinho, Dennis faster. Okay, still don't understand what you just said. Anyway, another one here from Ahmed. You say, of course, wealth and material plus vacuum of time. Okay. We have another one that says, money, frustration from previous relationships, or just finding a good and attractive guy. Aisha Young, you say, women are weak. They need men to support them. Really? No. Prince Zohan Justice, you say, my people, my eyes have seen my ears. Money talks a lot here because there is no love at the first place. And remember, the man himself is the lady's ATM. Mnasikia? Sawa sawa. Mutuku Fred is back again. He says, some married women tell their girlfriends how great their men are and end up losing them. Yeah, so even though Mutuku anasema mnaambiana tu, like, my guy is awesome, and your friend is like, I really want to get your guy. And another one here from Eric the Genius Matter, you say, they feel a sense of security because of the mullah. Well, a lot is being said about money here. So back to you, Resian, Robert, and She.
Robert, let me ask you, I don't know if you're married. Oh, you're married. In fact, I just wanted to confirm that. So have you ever probably received sudden signals from people who know, I know you're married, but
yes,
you have experienced
I'm sure
that?
every married man would say they have experienced that, yes. Yes.
Even when they can clearly see the ring dangling on you.
That is one of the things that attracts single women to married men.
Have you tried to probably find out from them what it is that make you very attractive, yet they know they can never have you to themselves?
It's a bit of being selfish, and also marriages have also gone into the dogs, whereby we have women or not watering their marriages. So there's this thing that people say, what you don't do, another woman will do. So because people think the grass is always green on the other side, so these single women tell these men, we shall do things beyond what your wives can do. And men are very weak, so that excites men. Yes.
She, let me bring you into this conversation. I'm not trying to say, I'm saying in case you have ever experienced that, where you really find a person that you really like, but the most unfortunate thing about them is that they're married. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, it has. And I always, when I get to that point, I always respect people's marriages. It's not, marriage and relationships, those are two different things. This is a commitment you made in church before God and before everyone. And one day I want to get married. I'm not married. And one day I want to get married. And what goes around comes around. If all my life in campus I've been sleeping around with married men, then I don't see why my husband in future, if I ever get married, will start running around with young girls. And I think the main attraction with married men is the fact that you can't have them. They say forbidden fruit tastes sweeter, right? The fact that you can't have them makes you to want them even more. And like you said, the marriages have gone to the dogs nowadays. And you'll find that most married men, they'd rather have a side chick, leave the wife at home because probably the wife is nagging and stuff like that. They'd rather have someone they can talk to, spend a good time with. And what they don't know is most of these girls, 80% of these girls are just looking for someone to spend on them, someone to spoil them, gifts, shoes, handbags, money and stuff like that. But it's never about love. But when it gets to a point where a married man has a mistress and love is involved, because most of the time it's just about sex and nothing else. When love gets involved and probably the man wants to leave the wife for this other woman, you'll see that the romance is going to die instantly.
You know, yesterday we had men here speaking about women behaving badly, rather Kenyan women and other women. Yes, so they're saying if you go to other countries, like maybe Rwandese, like what Eric was saying yesterday, that, you know, the ladies will have to confirm, for example, if one of their girls is bringing a guy to the group or they're going out, is this guy married, you know? So they'll make sure that, you know, he's not married so they can kick it. And they go have fun, they'll be able to just, you know, just be comfortable because of the fact that this guy isn't married, so we're okay, we're good. But so is it that we actually give, I know it takes two to tango, but is it that as women sometimes we give men that leeway of doing whatever, you know, they want, or being desperate in the sense that you don't think you can get a man, so you need to go get this married man. Or for example, if this married man is, you know, has bad manners and he hits on you, you know, is it automatically that, you know, you have to say, okay, cool,
Play along.
yeah, let's go. It's let's speak.
It's
like,
him
you know,
who started.
Yeah, you know, it's you who did this, so let's have a conversation. Let's go out for dinner. Then it becomes something else, you know, and he's trying, and you know, eventually, you know, that's usually the story. It's imagine now you're married. Now what are we going to do?
Remy, you'll find out that most women who go out with married men have they have self-esteem issues, because in their mind they believe that they cannot find themselves a decent man, a man who's not taken, so they go for someone who's taken. And like I said, all they want to do is just have a good time with this man. And let me tell you one thing, there's no way a married man will ever leave his wife for you.
Totally.
You can have fun all you want, you can go out every other weekend, but he has his family at home, his family comes first. I've actually never heard of a man leaving his wife for his mistress, and if it does happen, I guarantee you it's not going to last.
I do agree, and also the problem, allow me to bring in a very controversial angle. Women have played a very big part in this, especially there's something called chamas, where married women go and meet.
Jimmy was here with us.
No, totally.
No,
What happens is these chamas have gone beyond financial gain or trying to bond as women, and has gone to them running away from their responsibilities. And men are very weak characters. Now, a man wants his wife around him all the time, but every time, this week a woman is in a chama for buying shoes, the next week buying mobile phones. So a woman is not always there for the man. And then the single women are taking advantage of that, and knowing when men become lonely, they get very vulnerable. Let no one kid you, a man is a very, very weak creature. So these women are taking advantage of this, and the fact that a single woman wants to have 10 other men. So if this man comes and says, why are you dating so and so? And the woman will tell the man, but you're married, so I can't have you. So allow me to play the field. You understand? And as I said again, bottom line, we are very weak creatures.
But that doesn't usually, come across. You know, many people would actually think men, okay, fine, it's a notion men are very strong. I think it's the ego thing going on. But, you know, like you said, they're very weak.
Totally.
But to what point is it that it's actually substantiated, that it's actually true? And to what point do men use that as an excuse?
It's not an excuse, it's just a reality on the ground. We put on a facade, we put on a mask to act like we're the big kahunas, but really, a woman has power. And that is why even when you go to the Bible, the devil did not go to Adam first. He just went to Eve, and once you get the woman, you finish the man. It happened from the word go. It's not going to change right now.
Right. Sorry. Let's invite people to be part of a conversation. If you have an experience, either you're attracted to a married person or your husband has been taken by a very young girl, call us live. Our numbers will be on the screen shortly. Share with us your experiences. And probably since Robert said that you have experienced this before, how was it handling such a person who thinks, despite the fact that you're taken, how do you get them to see the sense that I can never leave my wife for you?
I do two things. First, you pray for that person. They did pray. I was even talking to a friend of mine yesterday called Fred, and he was telling me when he's in a matatu, he was in a matatu yesterday after work, and he noticed some young girls, I think they're in college or something, I think it was coming from Westlands, I don't know where, and they're just staring at his ring. But as they stare at his ring, they also stare at him, trying to flirt with him with his eyes. So it's like, I know you're married, but I want you. Now, such a person, first and foremost, you try and talk to you try and talk to them in a decent manner. And if you feel that they're not understanding or they're not respecting your space, you have to go the rough way. And
that is?
look at him like he's a Manchester United coach and you're so annoyed with him. And just tell him off. You understand? So you have to be fast. First, you have to be decent. And then after the decency, if it's not respected, then you just have to put your foot down, because if you sit on fire, I like referring to the Bible, only a fool sits on fire and does not expect his tush to be burned. So don't sit on fire, run. Put your legs on your shoulders and run. If you sit there, let me tell you this, an 18-year-old woman has the power to bring down a 50-year-old man.
Very true.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And that is why you see a Range Rover Sport parked outside an SQ.
Yes, so
That
like,
is
what
extremely
happened?
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said something about men being weak, but there are those who deep down they know this is not the right thing to do, and I don't want to do it. But you see, it starts by the one step that you make, by giving her your number. Yet in your mind, you're thinking, no, this is not what I want. I think, again, it's what you're saying. You should run for your life.
Totally run.
Yeah.
Bible says run away from youthful lust. And a man is visual. And women know how to play the game. I kid you not. Even the biggest president, a pastor, a bishop can be brought down. Just by
Even the greatest men in the Bible were brought down by women. Look at David, look at Solomon, look at Samson.
And can I tell you, Samson was brought down, and the Bible does not say he was given the goods. He was just given the thigh. He put his head on the thigh, and Tarakaniti fell down. The strongholds just went off.
Right, of course. What's your take, Shi? You know, that women are actually powerful, and that's one thing that we use, you know, very efficiently. Whether you're 18, whether you're 45, whether you're 60, I mean, that's why you'd get a... Or does it apply to 60-year-old women getting 18-year-olds, or, you know...
It applies everywhere. And my big question is, we've seen cases where the wife knows that the husband has a mistress. As in, you know, there are those clueless wives, sorry, they don't know anything. They are like 8 to 5 moms. They like get up in the morning, go to work. They don't know what's happening around with the kids, with their husband. But then there are those wives who know very well that their husbands are cheating on them, but they still stick around. And I was actually thinking about it last night, and I was wondering, like, maybe you'd tell me, like, why? I'll give an example. You said you're married. Let's say you have a mistress, which maybe you don't, but
No, I don't.
Just an example.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
And your wife knows, but she even knows your mistress, but she still chooses to stay in the marriage. And I know they say that a marriage is hard to walk away, but this is infidelity we're talking about. So why do they choose to stick around in the marriage, knowing very well you have a mistress?
Two things. Stupidity and also trying to fight for it. They're both extremes. Sometimes when you give in to the devil's plans to break you, then you've given him the lead, the gold medal. But sometimes some men are just outright careless and they just can't keep their zip up. You just need to run, because in this day and age, things are bad.
You know, I was watching a series called Rain. It's about power, you know, England and, you know, back in the day, 16th century or something like that. And this particular queen, Catherine, she knows her husband has a mistress who has a child. They have a child together who, of course, they refer to as a bastard. But again, of course, they're making a process for him to be legitimized. And the queen, Catherine, of course, she has a son and who is now a king in succession of France. So the thing is, she has conversations with this mistress like, you know, we're good, we're cool. And everything, and the king also gets another mistress to add on to this other mistress who has been there when Queen Catherine...
You're talking of Catherine of Aragon?
No. Of, you know, when she's actually there. And you can see the bloodshed, the fight. So this has been there from back in the day. Only right now, it's now, you know, more smoother, or it's... But you can see women have been having these battles from back in the day. You know, so... they'll end up killing each other and all those things. So how is that power translated at the same time? Because again, it's almost like weakness, but at the same time, it's power. So power is fleeting also. So how do you look at that scenario and say, okay, fine, women are powerful, but again, they have to deal with this particular man who is married with an official queen, and then there's an official mistress, and then there's a mistress in the waiting who wants her station to be made official, and then there'll be one after her, you know. So it's always like a succession of
Mistresses and all that.
yes.
That shows to me weakness in power. That is not a powerful man. The fact that the society tells us the more women you have, the more powerful you are. Actually, if you think about it, if a man has 3 mistresses, he's getting 3 different things. One could be for respect. I'll tell women one thing, and I say it as it is. And men are very weak in a way that men only want 3 things. And I'll tell you in order, total order. Number 1 is respect. Number 2 is food. And number 3 is sex.
So if you can control those 3 things,
Your
then you
man
can
is
manipulate
going
a man.
nowhere.
Okay.
And men
Well taken.
totally, and in that
Point
order,
noted.
because if you don't give a man that, a single woman will give him 2, and the man will run. And we usually have this. There's a bishop who has the Real Man Talk once a month, and I was invited to talk in one of them. And what happens is that a woman comes towards a man, but by the time a man has sensed what is happening, he's down. And that's why this Real Man Talk, that I think it's a Clarion Hotel.
Yeah.
I was once invited when they were in City Hall, and this meetings tell men to look at the telltale signs. Sometimes you see a woman coming and you think they're innocent, but believe you me, you give a woman a space for a Vitz, she'll park a lorry. So you need to see her from very far. And by the time you're realizing, it might be too late, you break your marriage, you give a woman your potency and your power. And the woman just puts you in a finger and rolls you. Have you seen a CEO not sleeping because of a first-year student? Or it happens.
Very true.
Have you seen pastors falling because of someone who is 19? It happens. It's a power in a woman. And the thing about a woman is, can I say it as it is?
Sure.
Hallelujah. Well, I think about a woman is your anatomy has power. And it brings down any man. You can get a woman who has nothing between her ears, but because of her...
Right, just hold on to that. We have a phone call.
All right.
Hello, Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, please tell us your question or comment.
Yeah. I want to differ with that man. If in any case you are talking about the Bible. Now, the Bible, when it came to Africa, we had our own culture. And that culture was being respected. There was no antagonism whatsoever for a man to have more than one wife. And not in that respect, it's only that men who are talking, if they want to be sincere, they will be taught in a straight mind. Because, I mean, culturally, it is acceptable for someone to have, okay, like what we are talking right now, saying that young girls are attracted to married men. What of someone who wants to get to have more than one?
Okay, I'm trying to get what he's saying.
I'm also trying to
No, what
do
he
the
said
same.
is that
that it's allowed
before
for
the Bible came,
yeah.
the culture allows us as African men to have more than one wife.
Yes, but you see, for example, in Thomas's case, even in the Muslim culture, you're allowed to marry up to 4 wives. But you see, you do it respectfully. You consult your wife and tell them you want to
With
marry.
everyone's knowledge.
Yeah. But this one, what men are doing
That's
is
a
not.
mistress, and it's hidden.
Yeah,
Not
it
only
is
that,
hidden.
I'm a great believer that if you have more than one wife, whether you discuss that in a commission of inquiry or boardroom, I don't care.
It's able to
Jealousy,
parliament.
exactly. Jealousy comes in, and with jealousy comes witchcraft. Not necessarily going to some dingy room in a village, but people start fighting over each other. And a man, why do you want 4 wives? What for? It is still the same thing that you're looking for.
Like Resian says,
Kunaya
hardware is the same.
No,
Software is
it
different,
is.
yeah.
It is the same thing. And the moment you start fragmenting yourself and giving yourself a bit to this person, a bit to this person, then that is wrong. Yeah, and there is nothing you'll prove. In fact, that energy is not there.
So, Shia, I would like to ask you this. When a man does that from culture basis, now since we're speaking about that, it's okay. And he won't be looked at, and there's always this argument, you know, from ages, a man will be looked at as strong, powerful, respectable, you know, and a lady does that, you're very
constantly
loose.
promiscuous and stuff. I know, right?
Yes, you know. So doesn't a man feel that used, or is it that I'm powerful? I can do this. I can date, sleep with 10 women in a week, and you still feel okay. Because isn't there a sense of violation? That effect? Because if women are feeling this, I mean, we're all human beings. Yes, maybe our makeup is different and all that is different, but then, isn't there a sense of that?
Society has made us very warped in our thinking. Society has made us believe as men that the more women you have, then you're the biggest thing since sliced bread. But what I think is that there's a bit of give and take. Single women have a big part to play in this because women have power. And I still go back to that. Women have a lot of power. So when men go to these women, if they find rejection, they'll have no otherwise but to go back to their own bedrooms.
Very true.
But the women, what has happened, and if you go to the Bible, they say there comes a time that there'll be 7 women for one man. So I also understand where women are coming from. There's a shortage of men.
The men are going into extinction.
Exactly.
So,
So 7 for one. But if single women kind of put off these married men, believe you me, a man does not take rejection well, and he will keep on running back to his wife. And women, please, just do what you need to do. Respect, food, and sex. And a man is not going to look anywhere else. I can tell you that for free.
Someone in the comment section said that married men are sexually experienced, something like that, right? I don't know how true that is, but I know of someone who, she's been going out with a married man for the past 2.5 years, and she can't leave him. And same case.
Because of love?
No, not because of love, because of sex. She can't leave him, and the married man as well can't leave her. And just the other day, she was telling me that she's actually starting to fall in love with this man. And this is a married man with 3 kids. Actually, 3 grown-up kids, almost my age. So I'm thinking the man must be like almost like my dad's age. No offense, but I look at her sometimes. I look at her sometimes, and she speaks so passionately about this man, and she is like, sometimes when they fight, when they argue, she even starts to cry. Like, she's so deep into love with this man, and it gets to a point where she was telling me during the December holidays, she was telling me that the man was actually contemplating, to actually leave the wife for her. And I told her, that is never going to happen. As much as you're my friend and I like you and everything, but I'm telling you the truth, it's not going to happen. And right now, the only reason you're finding a thrill in this relationship, it's because he's a taken person. But the moment he becomes yours, all that fantasy is going to end.
Let me ask you this. Does she see a future with this person, or does she hope
does.
one day she'll also get married to a different person? Or what's her position at the moment?
And you know what? She's not even in for the money, actually. That's what surprises me the most. She's not there for the money. She's there for the love. She actually really likes this guy, like, so much. She speaks passionately about him all the time. She was even about to get a tattoo of his name.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
That is how serious it is.
So is it possible, Robert, for a woman to get to that level of, probably it starts out as no strings attached, but I always say there are always strings attached, like it or not, because sex comes with ties. So is it possible that she could genuinely be falling in love with this man?
She's believing a lie, and she's setting herself for serious heartbreak. Because what's going to happen, she's going to get, maybe, I don't know how old she is. She might get to the wrong side of 30 or the wrong side of 40, and then discover this man is not going to leave his wife, because that man will not. Maybe when he says, I'm about to leave my wife, it's just to excite this woman. And then by the time she smells the coffee, she's on the wrong side of 40. And then now she starts looking around, and there's no man. So she has to look for someone who lost his wife, a retired sailor who comes to Mombasa from Sweden, or a small boy who is just excited about having a cougar. And then she gets into depression, and then she hates men. So what she needs, first and foremost, counseling and serious deliverance and prayer. But she's setting herself for serious major heartbreak. The man is not going to leave his wife at all.
But you see, her relationship with this man is so intense to an extent where she's actually created a bond with the last one of this man, who is actually, I think, in class 5 or 6.
So the daughter, I don't know if it's
No, the other two kids, the grown-ups, I don't think they know, but the small kid
knows
or just knows her. That's just it. But she's created a bond with this kid.
Sorry, before we continue on that, we've got a call. Good morning, Flora.
Okay.
Good morning. Tell us your question or comment.
Okay.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, good morning. The program is very interesting.
You're
I just
welcome.
wanted to tell you my experience.
Please do.
I got married to a married man.
As a second
Okay.
wife?
He loved me. We have a baby, and he gave me a home.
As a second
And,
wife, or
he has not left his wife.
okay?
But life is wonderful, and I am a career woman, independent. But life is still wonderful.
For how
I
long?
think this depends on the choice people make and the kind of a man you find.
All right,
The
let-
man respects his wife very much and his other children, and he respects me, loves me, and gives me a home.
How
Let
long
me
have
ask
you been married?
Flora.
I don't see a clear cut of this is right or this is wrong, but it depends on how the person you are dealing with is.
For
Thank
how
you
long
so
have you
much.
been married?
What?
For how long have you been married to him?
For now, 3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
Everything is still the same as it used to be before you got married.
Everything is perfect. It's just perfect.
How do you relate with his other wife?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Flora, we're asking you, how do you relate to his other wife? Do you guys know each other?
Unfortunately, we don't know each other. The other wife is a very high-profile woman.
Yes.
Very high profile. And me, I am a low-profile woman, and I give him the 3 things that your colleague has said, and therefore he is stuck here.
Okay, so is your husband also a high-profile man? Hello?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, boss. So that's interesting.
First and
What do you
foremost,
have to say about
I
that?
have a lot. Oh, goodness gracious me. I've heard what she has not said. What she has told us is that she's a very independent woman. But what she did not say is that she is not independent at all. Because in saying she's independent, she picked on 2 things. One thing that she said, that he gave me a home.
Oh, yeah.
That tells me she is not independent at all. And the fact that he has not introduced her
To
to
the
his
other
first wife, it shows she is just a spare wheel. I call it as it is. If the guy was proud of her, she knows his first wife, but his first wife doesn't know.
And what about the aspect of her saying that she's a very high-profile woman and I'm not? What does that mean?
The fact that she has called, she does not keep a low profile anyway. But anyway, also that shows a little bit of insecurity by saying, oh, maybe she doesn't know me, she's not being told about me because she's high profile. Tell her it's not about someone else. Does she feel good about herself in the first place?
But she says that it's been 3 years, things have not changed, she's happy, life is good.
And she gives a man all that you said.
The 3
Respect,
things.
food, and
And
sex.
yeah.
And he's there 3 years on.
I tell you one thing, I listen to what they don't say. I've had a very desperate cry for help. Actually, if you think about it, she's looking for attention.
You
She
think-
doesn't get that from that man.
So-
A woman who controls the man doesn't say it. The man manifests it.
I like that.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
in this case, is she a mistress or she's a second wife?
Oh, totally mistress. Mistress, gold, silver, and bronze.
But she said that the but she said
Sorry,
that-
Flora.
She said that the man provided her with a home and gave her a kid. And,
Evidently, the man is loaded. If he has a high-profile woman, he's just loaded.
but I don't think with mistresses you get to that level. I've never seen a mistress.
Of providing a home or
I think
having
they
a
do.
family.
They do. They actually
No, they actually are,
do,
yeah.
yes. That
They're
I know.
campus students whose parents think are in the hostels, but are living in apartments in Westlands paying 100,000.
Very true.
Men have money. And this thing of saying the grass is green on the other side, no.
It could
The
be
water
growing
bill
on
is just
sewage.
higher. It's as simple as that.
So she's a mistress.
She's a mistress. She's just sugarcoating the second wife thing.
So you're saying she's in denial?
Big time, big
But she
time.
sounds happy.
For
though.
3 years, you think someone can be there for?
Actually, that.
You can be down for 10 years. You can't be down for 10 years. Totally. And we, oh goodness, we talk to people and you realize actually, when you talk to someone, it's not what they really say.
It is what they don't say. I
Just when you
completely
go for a
agree.
job interview, sometimes I'm given a
Completely
contract
agree.
to just sit and look at the non-verbal communication. If you walk for an interview, I look at how you dress, how you hold your pen, how you do this, and that says what you don't say. Because what you say is what you want me to think of you.
Selective
But
exposure.
what you do not say is what I pick. And what she has not said is she is actually not independent. She would rather have that man to herself, and she has realized she's not having it, and that's why the man has kept her happy by her home.
Right, and on that note, we take a short break. We'll be back with this very heated discussion. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching The Social Hour on K24 Alfajiri. We're discussing the thrill of a married man. Why do young girls find married men attractive, even when they know they can never have them to themselves? So before the break, Robert, you're talking about something I can't quite put my hand.
What was I talking about? Not Flora. No.
Not Flora, definitely.
Not
We had
Flora.
moved on from Flora.
Manifestation or something, to manifest
No,
something.
no, we actually had moved on from that as well.
We're talking about can a married man be in love with a single woman?
Yes.
Yes.
No. The moment a man is married, his heart is taken. It's written in the heavens. It's ordained of God. But what happens is when you see men going out there, they're looking for something that they're lacking. They could be looking for respect or someone just to talk to. I've been told that there's some men who go to Konanga Street not to sleep with the women, but just to tell the woman, sit in my car, listen to me, pour my heart to you. And just listen to me, and then just tell me what you feel. And then you pay your 10,000 shillings, 20,000 shillings, and then you drive home. So when you see a man looking for side dishes out there, beyond the spiritual aspect, because there's a spiritual aspect as well, it's a man yearning and crying for attention. Because we are very weak. We love attention.
I like when you say that men are weak.
No, we are. We have to call a spade a spade. It's the naked truth, as I call it. Men who are watching, I'm sorry if you think I'm letting you down, but you know within yourself that even sometimes your own maid weakens you.
So the other thing is this. You said that once a man loves, their heart is already taken. So even if they had a side dish, they can never really fall in love with them. No. But let's look at people who marry for aesthetic value. Let me say you want to run for office. You come 2017, you need to get the stage wife who, because people will say, if you cannot manage, we have not seen your family, how do we trust that you can lead us? So I need to get somebody, and hurriedly, for me to be on time for 2017, for example. So already this person is not in love with the woman they're marrying them for aesthetic value. So is there a possibility that they may find love somewhere else through their mistresses or...
Unfortunately, yes. Especially, let me attack the political angle. The politician's wife, society expects to be a woman who does not really do a lot of manicure, who will be serving tea to the constituents, boiled maize and all that. And yet maybe this man loves the model kind of woman, you understand?
Who would not agree
Brazilian
to do all
weave
things,
and you know, that costs 100,000.
Acrylics.
But that is not a politician's wife according to society. So a man might end up marrying this woman for society purposes, to win the elective post, and this person is good with my constituents. When there are funerals, she will attend and speak in the dialect and connect with the people. But his kind of woman is 6'1", slim, figure 8, and who speaks English like a snail, you know, smooth. And so he will have
Like
this
the Queen
woman,
herself.
have a house for this woman, and that's where he'll be spending his time. And unfortunately, that's society for you. It's warped. It's the devil has made things turn upside down, but we also cannot run away from this reality. So there are people who have married for public perception, but they have their woman who, this is my kind of woman, this is my soulmate, this is everything. But this one, yes, we did a church wedding, but you are for public.
Stay at home, mom, and this is...
I'd like to differ with you the part where you said that a married man can't fall in love with a mistress, because we've seen cases where, apart from the church wedding, the customized wedding, there's this part where a girl, you're dating, you're not married, and then the girl gets pregnant, and then the man decides, you know what, you're pregnant and I'm a responsible man, so I'll just marry you, just for the sake. He probably doesn't love her.
True.
The only reason they're married is because of the
kid.
child. And when the child comes, they're like, oh, you're already settled in, no need for telling you to leave, stuff like that. So you want to tell me that if this man who got married to this woman because she was carrying his baby, finds another mistress, he's not going to fall in love with her?
I'll tell you a secret. As a man, the woman you you see before you go to bed with, wake up with every day, that woman has the A card. That woman can control you with time. The worst thing, as long as a man comes to your house, wherever you are, as a single woman, sleeps with you, but goes back to his house, I can tell you without charging you, and you can take this and get a loan with it at any bank, that man, his heart will be drawn towards that woman as long as that woman plays the cards well. A woman cooks for you, serves you breakfast.
Because she's the mother of his child.
Yes.
Not necessarily because he's in love with her.
Do you realize women play that game? I want this man, he doesn't love me, I'll know my not safe days or something, so I'll get a kid with him so that we move in. The idea is once they move in together, you have him on your hands.
I'll
so
start working on it.
Oh, if you
That's
play
what
your
they
cards
say.
right, you'll turn him from a Vitz to a Mercedes-Benz.
So what you're trying to say is that you can learn to love someone, like with time, that the man is gonna like start or try to fall in love with.
The man walks in, you say, you're my king. The man walks in, there's food on the table. The man walks in, there's a note on the bed. You're the most handsome, you're the big kahuna. When I see you, I just see... That man, you'll tune him to what you want him to be. I'll tell this to women. As long as the man still goes back to another woman in the house, you have no chance. I kid you not. Unless you kill his wife, and you'll be jailed for that, but... As long as a man goes back to a woman in the house, I don't care what kind of sex you give him. Standing on the head, some assaulting, I don't care.
Okay, keep in mind that the mistress is also, you say the three things are food, respect, and sex.
Yes.
What if the mistress is also giving the married man these three things, probably even better?
But there's one thing she lacks.
That is?
Support from the heavens.
Oh, God.
So there are no two ways
When you
about
don't
it.
have the heavens backup, you're on a losing battle.
So I think what she's saying, is there a point a man is torn in between the two? In the
Yes.
sense that, fine, he's going back home, but at the back of his mind, there's this other lady who's, she's, like she said, is equally doing something as good as his wife. So maybe he'll go back home, and then maybe sooner than later he realizes it's becoming a duty to go back home. This is my wife. Is there a point he reaches and he's torn in between the two?
I'll give you a
ladies?
very harsh reality. A man will only think about his mistress, who
When things
respects
are not
him
good.
when he goes home and things are not good. A man will only think about his mistress when his wife is rude to him, when the food was cold. That's the only time a man thinks of his mistress, as a fallback plan. So any married woman who knows how to play her cards right now like Man City, keep your man there. Don't be like Man U right now. Play your cards right.
You're an
And
Arsenal fan.
I'm a Man U fan, but I just speak it as it is.
But I think sometimes it becomes like a tug of war between the mistress and the wife, because both of them, they're giving they're giving this married man the three basic needs: food, sex, and respect.
So there's only one winner.
The
wife.
The wife is already there. There's no winner
But
yet.
actually, you're not winning per se,
The
because
wife
if
is
this man cannot decide to be with you,
Then it means
why
love
is
is
it
one
that
yet,
me who has to go out and fight for you, yet you're the one who's doing the wrong
You
thing?
know, as long as, I don't care what the single woman is giving the man, as long as when the man stands, he says, this is my wife, you have lost it. Marriage is an honorable thing.
Okay, I think I'm getting what Isian and she is saying, in the sense that this lady is at home, and is she really winning this battle if he's still seeing her? She's winning on the sense that in his heart, she's still, you can say she still has the A game, she's still number one. But in reality, how much can she give of herself with him still doing the same thing, going back to her, coming back? Doesn't that good woman eventually, lose that interest, and then mistress becomes
I go
wife?
back, look at Bill Clinton. He had a mistress, more beautiful than the wife, younger than the wife, but who won
She's 50 years old now.
And how old is the wife? You understand? But who won
Monica.
the end of it? His wife. And if you go to an Olympics, whatever, the national anthem is played for whoever is number one. Number two doesn't count. So you understand what I'm saying?
And that's why we said earlier that it's true. Okay, we agree that a married man will never leave his wife. But you're talking about, even if you haven't left your wife, maybe the only reason why you're not leaving her is because of your status and everything, but you are in love with your mistress.
So for me, the problem is then we need to really pray for these women.
The mistresses?
Yes, because it shows a lack of self-belief that you have to look for someone else who has been taken. You don't believe you're good enough to be loved exclusively by someone else. So
Right.
I usually send this single woman to a friend of mine called George in Mombasa. He loves warfare. He will pray for you until you feel good about yourself.
Right, and on that note, Resian is on the wall. She's going to be taking responses, rather your comments on this particular issue.
Yeah, I'm just reading some of the tweets that are coming in. Oh, sorry, I am not so used to this particular. Yeah, so Robert Burale, a woman has the power to change the home from a Vitz to a Benz. Was it the home or the man? I think it was a man. Okay, I keep doing okay, scroll it for me. Lilian Ungeri says, you can change him from a Vitz to a Benz. Oh, hashtag real talk, Cheke Karaoke. Honorable Jackson Mwakene says, enjoying the show, Robert, you are not letting us down. We are weak when it comes to women-man issues. So at least you have the support of some few men. I know most of them are not very happy with you. Belfort says power, status, financial security, probably to explain the reason as to why some women are attracted to married people. Jeffo Akinwa at Chipolopolo says, yes, and I think respect carries more weight. The other two follow. You agree? Clearly, same order. It was respect, food and sex. Okay. Titus Barmuato says, you of course know how ladies hate each other, trying to bring each other down. Is there something she want to say about this? That, yeah, probably I know this guy is married, but I don't care. I don't give a damn, if I'm allowed to say that, about the other woman.
Yeah, women are jealous, and if I, for example, Robert said here he's married, and I saw him the first time and I not fall in love, I probably liked him. I only want to care about his wife at home. I'd want to pursue a relationship with him, given that he has a wife. I only care about his wife in the world.
So is it true that women hate each other?
They do.
And so much at that?
They do. They do. Women are enemies of themselves. That's what we say.
All you need to do is go to a wedding and look at how women look at their bride.
Thank you.
Actually, there's a series where
How do they look at the bride,
There's
Robert?
a series where this lady walks in. She's wearing a very sexy tight dress, and then this lady just said, "I do." She shot her.
Seriously.
It was that, just exactly how
Yeah.
society, basically is. So it's the sense of, if she is married and I want a husband, I think the gratification for some women is, I just got your husband, that's all. I don't really want him, but I want to show you
that
that I can get your
him.
husband.
Yes.
Or if, for example, if let's say Resian and I had beef over the years and she finally gets married, I can finally show her that this is my time for vengeance and revenge. I can finally get her husband.
Yeah, I've seen that even with 50-year-old women. Like, there's another lady on Being Mary Jane. Now, Mary Jane's mother, she's sick. So this other lady who has been their family friend, who is old as a mother, comes around the home. I'm just coming to see your father. How is he doing? Then she sits and has coffee. Then the daughter is looking at her like, you cannot really be doing this. I see you.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. So women as old as, it doesn't matter how old you are.
It's a woman thing.
Oh, it's a woman thing. It's
How do we help the us
it's
at the end
our
of the
genes.
day
It's
then?
the whole-
I should ask Giselle and Jao to also have a session for women, because what happens is, it's the feel-good factor. When you need another man to complete you, then there's a problem. You must be complete in yourself to attract someone out there. Any mistress, and I said this without fear of contradiction and without batting an eyelid, I don't care how educated you are, how beautiful you are, how well-dressed you are. If you're a mistress, you're trying to look for completion within yourself. And you need to go back to maybe 10, 15 years ago and ask yourself, where did you get it from?
Right. Closing comments.
Yesterday I uploaded a photo on Instagram of my boyfriend and I put a caption, love hearts, love you, blah, blah, blah. Then some chick, I don't even know, one of my followers commented and said, mtaachana tu.
That one is from the devil, first and foremost.
Okay.
Final thoughts.
So my
Shiva.
closing comments are, don't go for a married man, because you'll end up breaking your heart. Just go for, we have so many men out there, like so many who are not taken. Just take him, just take one of them and mold them into the man you want to, but not married men.
Robert?
The grass is not always greener on the other side. It just means their water bill is higher.
Or it could be growing on sewage.
Yes.
And I would like to say this probably, Remy, before you wind up, that time, and I keep saying this, time and circumstance do change. Look at the analogy of the ant and the bird. When the bird is alive, it feeds on the ant. When the bird is dead, the ant feeds on the bird. So time and
Nice.
circumstance do change.
Right,
Demand dividing
and
people.
on that very intriguing, let me say, deep note, because of this conversation, we end our social hour there. And just to inform you, DJ Slim is in the studio. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. And of course, we're having a flashback of old commercials which remind you of back in the day. Take a look.